Now that we completed many lessons in SOLIDWORKS features, let's have some fun and test your skills. In the SOLIDWORKS screen, on the left-hand side of your screen, you see we have a part open in the graphics area. This part is called Angle Bracket. On the right-hand side of your screen, you see we have a drawing open of the same part. And this is a PDF file. And it's also called Angle Bracket. The Angle Bracket PDF file and the Angle Bracket SOLIDWORKS part file can be found in your Working Files folder. What we're going to do here is take a look at the completed part in the SOLIDWORKS environment and roll back the Feature Manager tree to see how this designer created this part. Then we're going to open a new part file and we're going to create this part ourselves using the drawing on the right hand side of your screen. So let's begin. If I take the rollback bar and roll it back to the very beginning, you see we have a boss extrude. And let's take a look at the sketch. And notice the sketch runs down the middle of the extrusion. That means that sketch was extruded about a midplane. That's one approach. And it probably makes sense because if we look at the PDF file, notice the origin is in the middle of the part. If we take the rollback bar, go down one more feature, notice this feature was added. And once again, we can take a look at the sketch. And as we continue, you will see we added a cut extrude, followed by a slotted feature, then a counterbore, next a through hole, then we added 2 holes in this inclined surface, followed by a reference plane. Now this reference plane appears to run right down the middle of this feature that you see back here. And then we have a tombstone shape, followed by another extrusion. The hole is then placed in the feature, and then they remove the middle. Again, that is just one approach to creating this model. Keep in mind, as you get more experience in the software, you are going to be more efficient. In reality, this part was created by a student early on in their education. So as we step through it, while nothing was incorrect in how they created the model, they did it in many steps. And as you get more experience, like I said, you will find more efficient ways to create models. So let's begin by creating a new part file. I am going to select New, Part, and then OK. This drawing is in millimeters. Notice it says down here, units, mmgs. So I'm going to verify my units are in mmgs. And now we're ready to get started with our first sketch. So I'm going to go to the sketch ribbon and select the sketch icon. And the first choice I need to make is which plane do I want to create my first sketch on? Well, I want to create this outline here. But instead of doing it like the earlier model shown, I want to create this entire profile in one sketch. Now, if we look at the origin, it looks like we have a blue axis extending upward and another blue axis extending in this direction. That tells me this is my front plane. So I want to create this sketch of this profile on the right plane. So I'm going to select the right plane, it revolves around, and now I am ready to begin my sketch. So at this point, you may want to pause the video and then reference the PDF drawing. Create that sketch, define the sketch with geometric relations and smart dimensions, and then extrude the feature about a midplane. Once you do that, return to the video and you can see me step through the same thing. I'm assuming you have the profile created and extruded. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to select the origin. Looks like the bottom length is 140. I'm going to go straight up about 19. And then over. Place an incline. And then I want this other incline feature to be perpendicular to this one. So I want to make sure I see that geometric relation added automatically. And then straight up, over, and then back to the origin. Now, before I add any smart dimensions, I want to look at the automatically added geometric relations. Notice I have a coincident relation. That's good. I then have horizontal, vertical, horizontal. Then I have a perpendicular up here, and a couple more perpendiculars. I also want to see a perpendicular here. So I'm going to hold down the Control key, and then select the perpendicular relation, and then close out of the property manager. Now those are the relations I wanted to see. Now I'm ready to smart dimension it. So I'm going to select smart dimension, and using the same dimensions we see on the PDF drawing, I'll apply those dimensions: 140, 19. Let's keep going. Looks like we have another 19 here. However, if you look closely, while this is 19 and this is 19, this is only 18. So I need to make sure I key in a value of 18. I also have a 60-degree angle, so I'm going to select this inclined line along with the horizontal line and key in 60 degrees. Now notice my sketch is fully defining, but it's not completely fully defined. I still have 3 blue lines remaining. It looks like I need to add a 90 dimension for the length of this leg. And then I need to add a length here. Now there's a couple approaches to doing this. You could simply make this length 51 and then add this feature at a later time, or you could add this distance, which is 32, to the 51. I am going to add the two numbers together, which is 83. Now notice the sketch is fully defined, it's all black, and down here in the status bar, it does say fully defined. I'm going to close out of the sketch. I'm going to go to my feature tab, select extruded boss feature, and I do want to extrude this about a midplane, so I'm going to select the drop down and then select midplane. And my distance for the extrude is 64 millimeters. So I'm going to key in 64 and then close out of the boss extrude feature. So that's a good beginning to this part. Let's conclude this part 1 of testing your skills, take a break, then we'll come back and move on with some additional features.